Hello, everybody, and welcome to Let's Have a Brew. I'm Elliot Broadfoot, and I am thrilled to be joined on Yorkshire Day by George Crawford here at the London Coliseum, who is in the ensemble, and cover Nick and Jay Gatsby in The Great Gatsby. How are you, George?
I'm good, mate, thank you.
Good.
How are you?
I'm very good. Very happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here.
I mean, we always kick off our podcast by asking you, how do you like your brew?
So it has to be, of course, Yorkshire tea.
Correct.
And then, so I have a technique when I'm doing mine where obviously put your hot water in, give it a little stir. You squeeze that bag.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You get that tea out of it, pop it on the side, nice splash of milk.
And that's it. See, standard way to any sugar, any sweetener?
Depends on my day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes a cheeky one on the sweetener.
Yes, a nice little sweetener.
Yeah.
I've started getting brown sugar. Bougie.
In your tea?
I know. Yeah. Just to give it a kick.
Okay.
You know, because I like my coffee sweet.
Yeah.
So I think it's
your tea sweeter.
It's tainted my taste buds. Tell us a little bit about your journey into theatre, like where you grew up. What was it like for you? When did you first discover this kind of passion for the arts?
You know, it's so daft because I have always just kind of been around performing, and I think when you speak to performers this question, there'll be such varied answers, and a lot of the time people do say it's all I've ever wanted to do, and it wasn't necessarily all I've ever wanted to do, but it's all I've ever known, so this just felt like a normality. And I was literally born into like the Amdram world in a sense that my mum and dad would like play Your Gatsby and Daisy as an example.
Yeah.
And then my dad's mum, my nana, would choreograph the show. And then my mum's dad, who was my granddad, would direct it. So you had like the two sides of the family
running
in the creative side of
Yeah.
things. And then my mum and dad would be in it. And then my mum's sister would be a dancer in the show. So I would just literally sit in rehearsals going, well, this is normal.
Yeah.
And it was never like, it was never like, we haven't done this professionally, so you better.
Yes, yeah, there was no
never
pressure.
I
That's
just kind of was always surrounded by it, and I think that's why I'm lucky that now I do it. The support is insane because they have an understanding to a certain extent of the industry, but not to a professional level.
Yeah.
So that's why it's nice when an audition will come up or a show will come up or you make your debut in a certain role. They're there with bells and whistles, with the utmost support. So that was my kind of small story of getting to.
But the pressure was off, which is nice. Yeah, I can imagine if you'd grown up in
Because for them, it was just enjoyment. It was it was just fun, and getting to sing and dance with each other and their friends was just a hobby.
And
then getting to turn that into,
a job.
Hopefully financially stable. Yeah, it's been incredible.
Yeah. So what kind of Amdram theatre like really inspired you? Did you have a show, or do you remember seeing your family do something and being like, oh wow, this art form is like the best thing ever?
Yes. So my mum and dad did West Side Story, and my dad played Riff. And I remember thinking, oh, you're cool, Dad.
Yes, yeah.
You did white tee and your jeans, go on.
Yeah.
And then when he got stabbed, I remember going like, spoiler.
Yes, you should not see West Side Story.
You should.
Yeah, you really should.
But I remember, and it was on VHS, and I remember just kept watching it because it was on like a bad recording of it. And I remember going like, oh, you're like you almost then put your parents in the same category as like,
Judi Dench.
Jeremy Jordan.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I look up to you.
Yeah.
So that was with my dad, and then my mum did The Witch in Into the Woods.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, come on, Mum, doing Sondheim. And where they did those shows, they did have quite a good budget for doing so because the Amdram scene, I mean, for most places, but especially in the Manchester area, was really, really big. And they had like a trap door. My mum was like coming out the trap door, and I was like. And of course, then that is your experience of a professional level of theatre before you then go and watch local productions in, the Manchester Royal or the Opera House or anything like that. Cut that, Manchester Royal. What?
That's very, very famous theatre, Manchester Royal. It's all right. The Northerners know what you mean.
Palace.
Yeah.
It was close.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Regal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Royalty.
Monarchy.
Yeah. So then when you then go and watch professional theatre like the Manchester Palace or the Manchester Opera House, and you see them on that scale, you have even more of an appreciation for what theatre is and what it can do for you, especially at a young age.
Yeah. And in terms of, you trained at Arts Ed.
I did.
So what was the kind of transition like for you? At what point were you like, oh, I'm going to go and train for this, like this is the thing I want to do? And what helped make the decision that like London was going to be the place that you trained?
It came really late. Even when I was in year 11, I was still socially and I was just trying to find myself a bit. And I remember just turning around to my mum and going, I don't know what I want to do. I still did my Amdram and stuff when I was younger and did those kind of local productions. But I think I didn't have the belief that I'd be able to do it at a professional level. And I knew that I enjoyed singing and being involved in shows, but I didn't ever think that I'd be able to make a career out of it. Yeah. And then I went to a performing arts college in Wakefield called Kappa College. And I went to an open day, saw so many people similar ages to me who all had an appreciation for theatre. And I was like, that's so cool. Yeah. And I didn't think I'd ever find my kind of real pool of people. Your
tribe,
where it was normalised to sing, dance and act. Yeah. Whereas I'm sure many of us in our industry have experienced, it's just not a cool thing to do. I went to a sports, science and maths specialist high school. So performing was like the last
the bottom of the barrel,
kind of look at doing. And it's the best decision I ever made because I really kind of found myself coming into my own of who George was instead of like the social ladder of a version of trying to be cool. And I still am.
Yeah, you're very, very cool. I think you're super cool, George. But it is interesting, I think, when we've spoke to so many people from the North who that have that same thing of being like, amateur dramatics was the thing that I was able to like experience so early on, but there still wasn't enough of like, you can have a career out of this. Like it was great and it was something to do. And I think amateur dramatic societies are like the backbone of the industry. But it does seem like sometimes like that's all the access is. So when you were at Kappa, what was like the turning point where you were like, I don't know, go to London?
I worked so hard. I just grafted and grafted because I went to this college, which to me was like Britannia High.
Yeah.
Niche.
It's very
so niche of a reference that maybe Fame is a better.
Forget about Britannia High. It was a great TV show.
Slapped. And I was like, I feel like the smallest fish in this massive pond of people who were there. And it was a mix of people who wanted to do contemporary dance, just pure dance, just singing alone, straight acting, triple threat musical theatre. But that was so special because then you weren't just going to a musical theatre institution, you were meeting people who had all different aspects of how they wanted to be involved in the arts in some way. And they all had like a
niche.
No. Sorry, Elliot. No.
It's all right. This is countdown. Do you need a vowel? Do you need a consonant?
Come on, Carol. They all had an influence into what then my kind of creative next steps was, because it wasn't like I was just going, I want to do triple threat musical theatre. I really love acting. I really love singing. Dancing was something that I had to really push myself onto. And because of Kappa, I would have never got into the places that I did and audition for, because I was like, oh, I'll just be singing and acting. Yeah. Like I was like looking at auditioning for RADA and Lambda because I was like, I really enjoy acting, but I don't think I'll ever be taken seriously.
Yeah, the skill set be high enough. I understand
the West End or any places for dancing. Yeah. So I just worked so hard because I think also as Northerners, you create, I don't know if I'm just being very stereotypical, I do think you create such a thicker skin for yourself.
Oh yeah.
And you're such it's very gritty and like
it is.
You should work hard.
Well, yeah, I think there's definitely an element of socially that like working hard is the only way to like succeed.
Yeah.
And sometimes that like isn't enough.
Yeah.
There's barriers in the way.
And that's
that
probably
no one
also
can
passed on from
do.
generationally, from an older generation who are going, well, I had to work hard for what I have, so you've got to do the same.
Yeah.
So there is an element of that as well, where I was like, I'm not good enough yet, so I'm going to work hard. And from that, then when it came to auditioning for places, and when I went to Kappa, then I was like, I absolutely want to do this as a career.
Yes.
Because you're in 2 years of musical theatre and acting and ballet and look, I'm no Billy Elliot, but just experiencing all those things really made me go like I'm in the right kind of track where I want to go.
Right path to...
So then I auditioned for Arts Ed, Erdang, Bird. I was going to audition for Lane, Central, Rotherham, Lambda, and Mount View. At GSA. GSA was my first audition, and I didn't get past the first round, and I was like, what am I doing?
Yes.
I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. And then I auditioned for Erdang, and then when I got into Erdang, I absolutely broke down to my mum and dad because A, you've got an offer to go and do what your dream is, and B, because I didn't associate myself as a dancer, Erdang is clichéingly known
as a dance school. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, like I can do this. But Arts Ed was always like my place that I wanted to go to and prioritise. And when I got into there, I cancelled all my other auditions because I was like, and I did a summer school there as well. And that links into what you said to me about when did you know that London was what you wanted to do? And I went down and experienced what the next tier of that was. And I was like, get me there now. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a big jump from, commuting from home to college to suddenly being in a city that is, and I mean, Manchester's a bustling city with, multiple modes of transport, but I guess you can maybe see the green hills a bit.
Yes, absolutely.
A bit clearer from the city, whereas London is kind of industrial.
Yeah.
And I definitely found it a bit of a culture shock to be down here when I moved way after going to drama school, but still as a city, it was a very interesting place to be.
Yeah.
And so what was your transition time at Arts Ed like? How did you find it being from the north and coming to a school in London? Were there any barriers you faced or was it a breeze?
I actually think for me personally, it was a breeze because I'm quite cheeky anyway.
Yeah.
And I think this cheeky northerner coming in and not taking himself too seriously, although mentally I was working so hard.
Putting the work in.
Putting on this.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a rubbish turn. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Helped me so much because mentally you're just creating doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world.
No.
Just focus on this 1 hour and then go on to the next thing that you do. Instead of being like, oh my God, I need to get this perfectly, because at the end of the day, you're in a training institution.
Yes.
You're training. You're not auditioning every single day.
No.
But I also think, aside from if I was doing performing, I think if I was going into something else, just being from up north, I just have this sense of like, I'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's such a cliche saying to go like, oh, it'll be right. And I know that so many northerners say it, but I do believe that we do it because it's like, I don't know, it's just...
I think it's an interesting survival tactic that takes, again, like you were talking about, there was no pressure for you when you were growing up. It takes the pressure off things being perfect, which doesn't exist. But the pressure's off of going, I'm giving this a try. I'll give it the best that I can.
Yeah.
And that's all that's asked of me.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, then we're on to the next.
And that's been so helpful then moving into professional audition life, because there's only so many times when someone can go, it's got absolutely nothing to do with you. Yeah. They want something very specifically. Yes. And so often I hear people going, yeah, but I cracked when I went in there and I did my final and they hate me, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with you. No. And luckily, because I've had those like building blocks of being able to like protect myself, you're just going,
right,
I'm going in.
Yeah.
I personally smashed it. Like, I'm so happy with what I just did. and then you can just leave it there.
After you graduated at Arts Ed,
Yes.
you were very lucky to go on 2 UK tours. The first being the Book of Mormon, and then the next being Waitress.
Yes.
And what was it like for you, A, touring the UK, and B, getting to perform like as close to home as you got to? What was that?
You know, when people ask, like, how was your experience leaving Arts Ed and getting into professional work, I say, like, my example of what happened was very lucky and happened to be a very specific right place, right time situation. And I don't want people to ever look at that and go, oh, that's just normal.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I was still in training. They were looking for 2 tracks for Book of Mormon. It had been doing months, if not years, of auditions. And I happened to just walk in and be able to look right, sing the right notes, and be able to potentially cover Cunningham.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I got that before I'd even finished my second year show. I was the first person in my year to then get professional work.
Yeah.
But that was just because of that very specific moment. I could have been waiting 6 months, if not longer, if that hadn't come up. But knowing that I then got to do Book of Mormon, which was a dream show, and it was one of the first shows that me and my mum watched when she came down to see me in London. And she said she remembers sitting there watching it going, oh, I could see George doing this. And we opened at the Manchester Palace.
The Royal.
The Royal. We did 3 months there.
Wow.
So for me, that was huge.
Yeah.
Because that is where I would go to watch your touring productions. And I've seen so many shows there. And to then go there as a professional actor and do that first performance was like nothing I've ever experienced before. And it did feel like a bit like a film where you're like, I did it. When you're doing that first bow, when you're going, and the lights come up and you go, oh my God. And it's not just your 3 years of training, it's then your whole life that you've been working towards that very specific moment.
Yeah, every time you saw your parents take their bow in the Amdram, and then the college experience, the training, and now, I guess all of that hard work, because it's not easy. And some people are very good at just like knuckling down and getting on with it, but it's toll, regardless of how you are. And when you get that moment where it's like, oh, this was so worth it. Yeah. My mum always calls it the Billy Elliot ending, when the film ends, obviously, with him like taking that first leap on stage. And she says, like, when she saw me for the first time, she's like, oh, I just, like, the movie ended then for me. And everything else afterwards is just a bonus.
And with that, we obviously have such high expectations of ourselves, which I think, for me personally, is good. I'm not being harsh on myself. No. I go, right, I've done that now. Yeah. Now is the next step. Yes. And it was then nice to do Book of Mormon and go, cool, I want to do a part now. Already I was like, and I wasn't going, I should be playing a part, but I was going, right, that's my next target.
Yeah, because I can do it, and I've managed to do more than one on this job. Yeah. So why not? Why isn't that the next step?
And it's with that, it's right place, right time, and it's also patience. And we can obviously go into that whenever. But yeah, that was really cool. And then also in fact, that segues quite nicely onto Waitress. So then we had lockdown. Yeah. And similar with, it'll be right. I was like, we'll be all right. Yeah. We'll don't get me wrong, it wasn't fantastic, was it? But coming out of the other side, I knew that the industry would be okay, because the main thing which kept people together and getting through a really difficult time was the arts. Yes, it was. Was film, was music, was theatre, was audiobooks, was books. That is what kept people entertained and enriched in what was a really difficult, gloomy time. And then, this is a cool story, actually.
Oh, I'm very excited.
So with Waitress, an audition came through for ensemble, cover the Doctor, cover Earl. And I was like, Earl?
I'd pay a lot of money to see that.
Abusing husband. I was like, bring it on.
The tat on your chest.
Yeah. And I remember going, look, I'm not right for this, but I'll grow out my beard.
Yeah.
Because of course.
Yeah, it's always the one, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah. But I just knew that I wasn't right for that situation. But I went in anyway and had a sing. And then they went, cool, we want to recall George, but for cover Doctor, cover Ogie. And I was like, that's a bit more me.
Yes.
That's a bit what I could do, a bit more like serious but fun, goofy. Doctor and Ogie, just daft and fun and energy and stuff. And I did my Doctor stuff, and I could see they were a bit like, okay. And I couldn't do the Ogie stuff. And I was just doing it, and I think there's always a difference between like doing an audition and going like, oh, this is going okay, and then doing an audition and going, I'm absolutely loving this.
Yes,
like I'm enjoying doing the material.
Yeah.
And then you always do get a good sense of that when you're in the room. And then I was doing a show upstairs at the Gatehouse at the time, and my agent called me saying, you got a final. I was like, oh, fantastic, but they want to see you for the part of Ogie. I'm going back to what I was then saying about the next steps of yourself. I'm like, that's quick.
Yeah,
wow,
it's happened.
Sick. But again, that was right place, right time, because I knew they were doing all these auditions and they were seeing some high profile people.
Yeah.
But it just takes that one person to go, you know what?
Yeah.
I think there's something in that.
I saw it in Leeds and I
sick.
absolutely loved it.
Oh,
I did. I think I was in, was it 2021?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had been, going into second year because I went to drama school quite late. And I saw that and I was like, he is spectacular. Like I absolutely loved it. Seeing that show at the Grand, which I think is the most beautiful thing in the UK.
And that was special as well because our next venue pre-COVID that we were going to go to was Leeds Grand. And I was like, I'm so excited. I can finally do the closest one to.
Yeah.
And my family were in Denbydale, which is so unspecific for this. Huddersfield, I guess. And that is the closest regional theatre where like big touring shows go to. And that was the next one. So as a joke, we're all going, hi guys, 2 weeks off, we'll see you in Leeds. And it never came. So then when Waitress was there, it was magic. It was so special.
Yeah. And then the Troubadour. How exciting was that? What was the transition into working on Newsies like?
Again, right place, right time. Was in for Jack for the part, did my self-tape, went in person, did the material, went really well. And they found their person, and then a couple of months went by, and then they went, we want to see George for cover Davey, cover Crutchy. And I said to my agent, more than happy to still go in, but you were seeing me for the part. So would they not want to see me then for the cover of Jack?
Yeah.
But nothing was said. I still went down, did my Davey material, sang Seas a Day, did Crutchy, and it was Matt Cole and Nigel Lilly, who's a musical supervisor. And they went, can you just go and stand outside for 2 minutes? And I always think that's always good.
Yes,
so I was outside going,
it is nerve-wracking.
And Nigel literally came out and went, can you just come in and sing the end of Santa Fe? And I was like, sir, I can. Because I've been singing that since I was like 14.
Yes.
Like that is like my dream role, as well as many tenors.
Yeah.
Of course it is. So I didn't have to like go, I don't.
Yeah, let me just warm up.
Think of the lyrics.
Yeah, have you got the music? Have you got the darts?
I just went in and sang it, and they went, cool, thank you so much. And then 2 days later, I got the call.
Wow.
So I was doing it.
Yeah.
And that was so special because I think you never get the chance really to work on your dream show where you'll sometimes get to play your dream part in a brand new production.
Yeah.
And
in that space as well.
And the hype was mental.
Yeah.
It was, and I don't think I realised how special the show was going to be until we then
doing it.
Got into previews.
Yeah.
And it was mental.
Yeah. And the sound, I can imagine, I've not been to the Troubadour, but I've seen enough pictures to know, and obviously you work with Bronte. Lovely, lovely friend.
Another Northerner.
Yeah. I can't imagine what that was like. But has it kind of prepared you for working in this space? As the Coliseum is like...
Do you know, it's such a difference. Like, that is like... I can't say warehouse, because it comes across offensive. But
no, but...
That space is so like vast.
Like a film studio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas the Coliseum is just so grand and opulent that you almost feel guilty for being on the stage.
Yeah.
Because you associate it with ballets and operas and stood there doing Gatsby is crazy. Yeah. Really, really special.
Yeah. So how has it been doing this show? you went on for Nick.
I did, yeah.
And how has that experience been? What's it been like working with Corbin Blue?
Yeah,
From High School Musical, showing kind of the jealous.
Do you know, the biggest thing is getting to work with Amy, who's my fiance, and we met doing Waitress. Mm-hmm. You never think you're going to work together again. No. The chances of that ever happening are so slim. So yeah, getting to work with Amy was a huge kind of selling point for then getting to go and do Gatsby together. And it's just been incredible. And so many people have said online when the cast have done interviews, everyone says the company are unbelievable. And they are. We have such a laugh. The show is so fun to do.
Yeah.
I'm not sat at backstage going, because everyone's just socialising, having a laugh, and then going on stage and then just giving it absolute beans.
Yeah.
And it is one of the biggest shows on in London at the moment, and I'm very aware of that, and I don't take that ever for granted. Especially when it's a limited run, you know there is an end point compared to then going, oh, I might, stay on for another year or go and audition for something else. And with that comes a sense of humbleness and getting to do it every day is,
That's
cool.
great. You recently did Spend at the Royal Exchange, which is a Northern story, true story, a very prestigious Northern venue. What was the process like? What was it like to do? And do you think there's space for more of those kind of truly, authentically Northern stories to be told in the spaces like the Royal Exchange?
Absolutely. For me, the Manchester Royal Exchange is one of my top bucket list venues to ever go to. I think also as a Northerner, it just is. And I see it as the Donmar of the North.
Yes.
It is just a place, regardless of where you're from in the UK or wherever, it's somewhere you want to perform. So you can then go, perform there.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the only few in the round experiences that you get to have at a professional level, which is really well known about. It was a really, really special show for two reasons. It was a Northern show. I was staying with my grandparents at the time. And I lost my granddad whilst I was there, whilst I was staying with them. But it was so special that I got to be with him in his last moments whilst doing what I loved. Yes. And he's the guy who was who directed all the Amazon shows. So the support was unbelievable through that whole journey. And he was also there whilst I was then going through all my auditions for Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
So my last moments of remembering my granddad was him knowing that every day I was leaving the house to go and do a show at the Exchange and come back and tell him about it. And then also I was going down to London to audition for Great Gatsby. Yeah. So it was so special. And also because I'm down here, you don't get a lot of time sometimes to be up north and be with your family or your grandparents. So to then do a show up north, which is the Northern show, staying with my grandparents in his last kind of time with us was so, so special.
Yeah.
The rehearsal process was bonkers because they wanted to create almost like an Alice in Wonderland heightened scale of the story.
Yeah. And it's a very ordinary story, isn't it?
Yeah. It was so cool. And they kind of reorchestrated some bits to make it sound more whimsical and kind of estranged. And the more money was spent, the more the costumes and the lighting changed. And it was really cool. And I was saying earlier today that at the Exchange, you've got obviously the stage, but then you've got the rehearsal space upstairs, you've got the costume department there, you've got the sets. Everything is in-house.
Yeah.
And I've never experienced that before, where you'd go from your rehearsal room to the green room to the wardrobe team, and of course, everyone's Northern. So everyone was up for having a chat and having a cup of tea and talking about things. And it was a real real sense of community working there.
Yeah. And I guess there's a little bit less of that when you're working in town because shows kind of like rock
you'll rehearse over there, you'll come here, you'll go and do a costume fitting over there.
Yeah, somewhere else. And so, but when you're kind of here and sat down, there's definitely that kind of community. But it's very interesting to go to a producing house, especially in the North. And I guess that's something I find really thrilling when I was at the Story House in Chester, that it was the exact same of being like wardrobe was a floor up.
Yeah.
From us, everybody in the building used that one green room. So like it didn't matter if they worked in the marketing office.
Yeah.
Like their
Same,
place to have lunch was with us.
Yeah.
And you feel connected and like part of something as opposed to like a guest in the space, which I think touring definitely can feel like.
Yeah.
And sometimes being in town can feel like that too.
And with West End as an example,
Mm-hmm.
there is a real difference between, it's a difference obviously touring because people are in that bubble and they're going to different places and different cities. But here, people come to work, they will do their show and they'll go to their families.
Yeah.
Naturally. When you're in Manchester doing a show at the Exchange, either you are Northern and you're in the same situation, but a lot of people are there. So there's more of a sense of community and the social aspect, and everyone's there together. And because it's the northern area, the recommendations of where to go and being able to see things, and you're in the countryside still. So it's so special because you're, especially as a northerner, you're then able to go, come with me, I'll come and show you this
I'm going to take you to my favourite. It was my dream. We were in Leeds for 3 weeks with Lucky, and my favourite thing was like, there's a really great cafe. Do you want to go for breakfast? Or this is the best place to get coffee. And like being able to, I guess, share those moments so that when those actors go on tour again or end up working at that place, they can then tell people who are new. Yeah. And it builds this lovely like network of great moments that you can like share with people, even if they're not from the north. Like continue, spread the knowledge. And generally I'd say most northerners are friendly. So I think even if this is a PSA, if you're working in the north with maybe not a primarily northern cast, you can probably just ask people on the street. Yeah. And they'll guide you to the right place to hang out. Yeah. So what would you like to see for the future of theatre and training in the north of England? I mean, it's growing. Yeah. It's changing, but how it was for you when you were younger is very different to what it is now. And what would you like to see in the future?
I think I'm very naive to the northern theatre community now because I'm down here. Yeah. And of what I do know of, and I've got to again put them on a high pedestal, is Kappa College from the kind of West Yorkshire side of things. You've then got Pendleton, which is did you go Pendleton?
No. I went to Leeds Conservative, went to Welcome. Yeah.
So I know there's some amazing theatre institutes for people wanting to train into further education. So I think from a education perspective, I think it's in a pretty good place as far as I'm aware. Sheffield is an absolute, for me, is, apart from Manchester, is the hub of Northern theatre. Yeah. And that is such an incredible space to go to when you've got the Crucible, the Lyceum. And the Crucible, again, is another Royal Exchange place where it's gritty, intimate, original, sometimes in the round, exciting, and really respected work, which then comes to London.
And it's steeped in a lot of kind of like cultural history, you know, the snooker happens there. So like as much as it's a space for like deep creativity and wonderful art, like sports also gets a home in a space that people who are a fan of that sport may not go to that space were the snooker not there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's such a powerful use of that space of going, yes, we're going to create great theatre here, but we're also hosting one of the biggest sports championships in the world.
It'd be really interesting to find out actually from that what percentage of people would go to see the snooker and then eventually
book a ticket. Yeah.
Hey, the bodyguard.
Yes. Someone go to the live seat.
Yeah. It'd be really
it would.
Quite interesting that.
Right, note that down. That's information we need to find out.
I'd love to see another Hope Mill-esque place, which has started from the ground up and slowly, year by year, has built a really respectable name for itself, where, again, things are transferring from there, or Tracy Bennett wants to go to the Hope Mill to do you know what I mean? Yeah. And like, it's got a name for itself now where you're having highly, highly prolific people wanting to go there because of the name of going to the Hope Mill. And that's kudos to them for creating a space. And the things that I've seen there, again, are fantastic. Yes. Because you get good raw talent which wants to perform there.
Yeah.
So I'd say I'd like to see another kind of Hope Mill. I'm not sure where.
Before we say goodbye, have you got advice for young people in the North who want to enter this industry, but maybe feel like they don't know who to ask the right questions to, what the journey's going to be like, or even just for like people who right now have just graduated or are about to audition? Like, what's your advice for young people in the North who want to kind of follow in a similar journey that you've had?
I've got like 3 things that I'll try and go through quickly. The first one, which is what I say to so many people in our industry, be it through auditions, be it through conversations with agents and stuff, we suffer more from our imagination than we do reality. We allow this sometimes to overtake everything that we do in what we create as a professional career. And knowing that you can have a moment to go, okay, let me actually look at the facts of what I have in front of me, and going, let me just hold on to that, instead of going, oh my God, I didn't get into drama school for the first time, so I failed and I'm going to give up. Which then links me into my second thing that I want to say is I went to Arts Ed at 18 and graduated at 21, which I then went into my first professional thing, and I've, steadily made a nice career out of myself. That's my journey.
Yeah.
You graduated from Leeds
At 26.
and we're still both here having a conversation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've still done tours and we've still done things in town. The only difference is we went at different times.
Yeah.
But the thing that still kept us pushing and pursuing is our love for what we do. And the other thing, which is something I've come across recently, which people keep laughing at me for saying, is we get paid the same if we vibe or if we stress. So we might as well just vibe it out.
Yeah.
There's no point stressing about the most ridiculous things when we still get paid just to still be here and have fun. And that goes the same through your training, auditioning. Obviously, you don't get paid to audition or you don't get paid to go and train, but you can stress if you want to, or you can just go, it'll be right.
Yeah.
And just trust the process of what's happening, because, again, I'll use us two as an example. We're still sat here having a conversation about things that we've done in the North, in London, and we've done different things on our different journeys for doing so.
I think that's a wonderful way for us to end, George. Thank you. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your Yorkshire day. And if you're finding today hard, just remember what George says. He'll be right.
And have a cup of tea.